Which one is actually better, Awakened Gojo or Meguna? Today I'm putting them through 5 different tests: DPS, abilities, domains, cost, and endless mode. Same setup, same conditions. Let's see who really is better. Alright, first thing we're going to be testing is each of their costs. So starting out, Meguna costs 2,400 and Awakened Gojo 2,000. We're going to be seeing its total cost to get it max level. Alright, let's start with the placement costs. 2,000 and 2,400. Alright, I just placed down Meguna. His first upgrade costs 8,200 and Awakened Gojo's 8,600. Second upgrade, 11,000 for Meguna and 11,400 for Awakened Gojo. Third upgrade, 26,000 for Meguna and 25,000 for Awakened Gojo. I kind of lost track of the upgrades, but this one is 35,500 and Awakened Gojo's is 36,400, so Gojo's is more expensive on this one. Okay, for the next upgrade, Meguna costs 53,000 and Awakened Gojo 61,000. Alright, next upgrade, Meguna costs 80,000 while Awakened Gojo costs 90,000. Level 7 is Awakened Gojo's maxed, while level 8 is Meguna's max, adding another 130,000 to the cost. Alright, let's upgrade Meguna for the last time. Boom, level 8. Okay, so that brings our total for Gojo at 235,000. And now the total for Meguna is 346,000, which means that Awakened Gojo is cheaper, and thereby it wins 1 point for the cost factor. Alright, next test we're looking at is DPS. This doesn't include abilities, it's just pure DPS from attacking. So if we look at Meguna right here, it says 138 million damage. My Meguna has an enchant on it which makes it do more damage, but if we look down here, it says 61.5 million at max, and it attacks 3 targets. Now if we look at Awakened Gojo's, it says 10 million for max, and a 2-second cooldown. We can figure out 61 million is a little bit higher than 10 million. So that means that for the amount that Meguna does, he wins DPS round. Alright, for the next category, I'm going to be looking at both of their domains and seeing which one is better. Here we'll start with Meguna's domain. It's just like Sukuna's, except it looks a little bit shadowy. Yo. Ooh. Sick music. I don't know if I can play this without it being covered. I don't know. Yo! Okay, if we look here, it's just shredding through all the enemies. 17 million damage. And that's per tick. Shredding through all the enemies, and it hits every single enemy on the map. Alright, here we go. Let's look at Awakened Gojo's domain. Alright, here's Awakened Gojo's domain. Let's see it. Look at that. It freezes all the enemies. They can't even move. They can't move while in their domain. They just are completely frozen. Every enemy. And they even stay frozen a little bit after. I think it might be infinite, honestly, for non-boss enemies. I think if they're low enough level, it just stays like frozen for an infinite amount of time. Okay, now that we've seen both domains, I think I can confidently say that Meguna's domain is better. The sheer DPS it produces is just unmatched. Even though Gojo's domain freezes, it's not as good as Meguna's on bosses, and that's why I'm giving Meguna the domain point. Alright, and for our last test before we do the endless mode tests, is abilities. Meguna has 2 main abilities, which is Dismantle and Cleave. Dismantle goes on and pierces, and Cleave is a big wide open area move, both dealing good amount of damage and having a good amount of crowd control. Then we'll have the summons. Meguna periodically summons these guys, and they have various amounts of health. Charging Bull has 15 million, Round Deer 80 million, Algito almost 100 million, and Maharaga has 400 million. Alright, and for Gojo's abilities, we have Classic Red, his Blue, and his Holo Purple. The red when hit does 100 million damage. Blue is great for crowd control, it slows enemies, and once they get below a certain health, it'll suck them up. Oh, he's Holo Purple. He's Holo Purpling. Not a lot of stuff you're doing there. Boom! 2 billion damage, and it covers the entire map. 2 billion with a B. That is 2 billion damage, covers the entire map. It hits everything on it. Alright, now that I've reviewed all the abilities, I'm gonna say Awakened Gojo wins this round, bringing the score to 2-2. Whoever wins the endless mode battle will be victorious. Okay, I'm summoning Maharaga right now. Gonna defeat him, and then we're gonna send Meguna into endless mode to see how far he gets. Alright, maxed out Sukuna. Let's see how far he goes. So, Awakened Gojo got wave 191, which means that's 3 points for Awakened Gojo, and he's better. So, I actually didn't think Awakened Gojo would win there. I didn't know how OP his domain was in Endless. This video took 8 hours to record and edit. Please subscribe for that.